Hey everybody, I want to welcome you back to Desert Sky Mystic. Today we're going to be doing our love and relationship reading for Taurus for August of 2022. Let's see here. This is kind of a 3-in-1 format. We're going to have three different readings within this video. One reading is going to be for those of you that are in a relationship. We're going to have one reading for those of you that want to be in a relationship. And we are going to have a reading for those of you that are recently out of a relationship. So wanted to try to include as many people as I could in 11 relationship readings, so no one felt left out. So let's get this overhead cam fired up, and we'll get right at it. Let's see what the month of August holds for our Taurus friends here. Okay, so this first card is going to be for those of you that are in a relationship. Our second card are for those of you that are looking to be in a relationship, looking for love. And then we have our Taurus friends that are currently out of a relationship and see what kind of energies they are dealing with. So, all right, for those of you in a relationship, be here now, the hummingbird spirit, beautiful card. I really like this card, especially for those of you that are in a relationship. It really speaks to staying in the moment, being in the moment, not really getting, you can always think about the past, the good times and the bad times, and you can get stuck in there and you can wish things were a certain way or or were that way again. You can look at the future and you could worry about what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. But the thing is when we're not in a moment, we're missing out on all the good stuff. It's the stuff that's happening right now that we look back at and, and have those good memories or bad memories. But really being in the moment is important, being there in the moment together. So very powerful there. Let's see what kind of clarification messages we have coming in on this one. Nothingness or no thingness and laziness. Well, that's a very kind of interesting combination there. So we have our no thingness card here. And at first glance, you may think, oh my gosh, it's all black. This is a horrible card. Actually, it's not. It speaks of possibilities, that the world is full of possibilities. The potentials are endless. And that I think is a good thing. I think that's a very positive thing. I think there's a lot of different directions this can go. And I think that you've probably seen a lot of different directions in this relationship, because again, it is full of possibilities. Now, the energy we're kind of moving into is the laziness, and the laziness card here, you have this guy, he's on this almost looks like he's on a beach here, although it's a checkered background ground here. Sipping on his drink, really enjoying life. The person here in this card is really at the top of his games, had some real good successes, and at this point in time in their life are really riding the wave of those successes. Now, the thing that you should always look at with this particular card is, and what you see here is in the background, there's a glass floor and it's starting to crack beneath him. So really what this is saying is that there is still work to be done. Don't get complacent, don't take things for granted, because that's when things go in a lot of different directions. Like I said, a lot of different possibilities, a lot of different potentials. They may not all be potentials and possibilities that you want. And I think that's been a very real thing for you in the past. And we want to kind of try to avoid that going in the future. Now, having said that, I want to make sure to reiterate the idea that we really do want to stay in the moment. We do want to do that work in the moment. We don't want to worry about the future. We don't want to dwell on the past. Take stock of what the relationship is at this point in time and build on that, because it does look like it is in a good place. It does look like it can it can stay in a good place, but just know that that takes work. And if you don't work on it, if you do get complacent, that floor will drop out from you, and then you're going to find yourself in a position where you don't know how you got there. All of a sudden, things are going to be really crazy, and you're just going to ask yourself, how did this happen? When did this go so wrong? And we don't want to find ourselves there. So let's see what kind of advice Spirit has for us today, and so the advice card throws out at us. Process and absorb. I think that that ties in really nicely with this particular reading. It's funny, once again, this is a card I've seen once or twice again with some of the other readings. Um, as much as I shuffle these up. So that just tells me that this is an important message that comes through, that is coming through right now. And really, again, I said take stock of the relationship, really understand it for what it is, recognize the great things about it, recognize the things that need work, and work on those things together. And as you have your individual identities, but you also have an identity as who you are in a relationship and who they are in a relationship, and really recognizing the strengths and the weaknesses of the relationship and working on those. And that's the type of work I'm talking about if we want to avoid that floor dropping out from under us out of nowhere. It won't be out of nowhere. There are going to be things that would happen that would create those cracks. It's just that we're not paying attention to. But if we're staying in the moment, if we are processing, absorbing, and working on those things, we can do that work and really stay in this moment here as much as possible and not have to worry about the idea of that floor dropping out beneath us. So overall, great reading for you, Taurus, for those of you that are in a relationship in the month of August 2022. Let's go on and see what our other Taurus friends are working with for this month. Okay, this next one is for those of you that are looking for a relationship, looking for love, want to be in a relationship. Let's see here. Magic works through you. The Scarab Beetle Spirit. That's a pretty cool. I like the design and the artwork on the back of that beetle. I love these cards. I'm really attracted to. If you couldn't tell, I'm really attracted to vibrant colors, cool designs. When I do find a set of cards, for whatever reasons, it's the artwork that really attracts me, and pulls me in and speaks to me. So. Yeah, the magic works through you. I really get the sense that that you're when you're ready for that relationship to start, it will start. When you say, okay, I am ready, you will be ready. And I think this is really about you having your own voice, being in your own power, having being confident in the idea that you can make this happen whenever you want to. You are the magic, you are the spark. I think you actually are probably also going to be the person that initiates this as well. Whether you're a female or a male, these readings are non-gender specific. But whatever this energy is for you, I really get the sense that, you are going to be taking the lead in this, and that if you don't take the lead, it's not going to happen. So let's see what else we have coming through here. Look at that. Nice little Avenger card. Wow. Very, very interesting. Okay, so we have our adventure card, and obviously we have this little toddler that is walking up this dark path in the woods. It looks like it's night out, but there's something real shiny, and there's these lights coming out just over the ridge. Not quite sure what it is, but you're going to go check that out. So I do think that you have something heading your way here, that something has caught your eye. Maybe it's somebody already, or perhaps it's something that you're doing, the path that you're on, that's going to ultimately lead to this. Maybe, I mean, I don't know what that is. Maybe you started a new book club, or you're in a new book club, or a new social event, or whatever. But whatever this new thing is for you, this new little adventure is going to be what leads you to ultimately your next relationship here. And what's interesting about this is that, on this one, I'm very much getting the energy that you're going to initiate this stuff, and that, when you're ready, you're going to call the shots. And I don't necessarily mean that you're going to be the driving force behind this whole relationship. I'm saying that it's almost like it's an energy that when you're ready, you're going to put out that you are now receptive to a relationship, that you're open, and that's what you want. And then when that happens, you are going to attract that relationship. So I very much put that responsibility in your hands, but that does not necessarily say that you are going to be the lead the entire time or whatever else. And with this new going with the flow card, I'm actually getting more along the lines that things should happen very naturally for you once you kind of flip that switch. Once you say, okay, I am ready, I'm looking, I'm going to have an eye out or whatever. But once that relationship starts, it needs to be something that is not forced on your end by any means. You just need to let this play out. Things will play out the way they're supposed to on this. This is an adventure. I do think this is going to be something that's going to be very memorable for you. I do think this is going to be the right move for you. But if you try to force this in any way, even on the downturns of the stream here, when there's a downturn, go with the flow. It will turn back around for you. Just trust that what the universe has your back and is taking you down the right direction in terms of this future relationship. All right, let's see what advice the area of advice has for us. What kind of energies we're working with here. Be neutral. I think that really ties in very well with the go with the flow. Don't have any preconceived notions, don't have any ideas, don't have any expectations. Again, when I say, like I said before, when you decide you're ready and you start putting that energy out, what's the phrase I always like to use? I can't remember who said it to me the first time, but it's always stuck with me. It's don't chase, attract. So when you're ready, you're going to flip that switch on, and the universe is going to know you're ready. And that's going to come to you very naturally. And of course, you don't want to flow, or you don't want to force this. You really want to be in the flow and be neutral. Don't have a preconceived idea of what that looks like. So I don't know. If let's just say you in the past, let's just say let's just give a stupid example here. Let's say that you would never date anybody that didn't have a truck. I don't know, whatever it is. Well, what this is saying is forget about that preconceived notion of a truck. Just be open to whatever possibilities are coming your way, whether they have a truck or not. Because if you screen out everybody that doesn't have a truck, then you are very likely going to miss the mark, and it's going to take you a lot longer to get to find that person. So it's almost a form of self-sabotage. These expectations, these preconceived notions of what has to happen. Now, I'm not saying don't have your standards. I'm not saying, but your standards should be more along the lines of how they're going to treat you, what kind of person they are, not what they have, and not necessarily maybe how tall they are, or whatever that is for you. Put those superficial things aside, and if the standards you do have should be more along the lines of making sure that they align with you as a person, as a soul, and that they treat you the way that you want to be treated. So those are the important things. Pick your battles, take the important things, and let this other stuff just kind of go by the wayside. It'll work themselves out. So overall, very good reading. I do see something coming down the pipe work here for you. So just when you're ready, make that decision, stay open to it, and enjoy the ride. I think it's going to be a great month for you, Taurus. Okay, so let's take a look at my friends who are fresh out of a relationship or have recently been in a relationship but are not in a relationship any longer. This is interesting. Open to infinite possibility. I actually get for this reading, this energy, it's almost as if maybe this isn't such, maybe you've already been out of this relationship for a while, that the healing that we need to do and rediscovery of ourselves that we need to do when we come out of a relationship is kind of on the back end of that, and you're almost ready to start opening up again. I'm not quite sure you're there yet, but I think this is really speaking to the idea that when the time comes that you do need to open yourself back up, and don't let this last relationship be something that kind of serves as a barrier for you to moving on. Again, I'm not sure you're 100% ready yet. I would say that you're probably not, but I think you're on the downhill of that journey. Let's see, though, what those clarification cards have to say, and maybe they'll take us in a completely different direction. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so first off, we have the awareness card, and the awareness card is really about the veil dropping, about seeing things, ooh, the way that they actually are instead of the way that you thought they were. And I think this is really an energy that you're moving out of. And maybe this was part of the problem of the relationship is that you thought things were one way. You thought this was one person, and as you got to know them better, they end up being something completely different. And you had to make a change. Um, one of the things that this could relay into now that I'm kind of seeing these other cards is that it seems like when this was almost a very healthy type of decision for you, because when you saw these things, when that veil started dropping and you started recognizing that this wasn't lining up with you where you wanted to go and where you wanted this to be as a relationship and to spend your time with, to invest your time with, and you decided it wasn't worth the investment and you moved on, which to me is also you being open to the infinite possibilities because you didn't sit there and linger and hold on to this too long. You really recognized that for what it was. You took lessons you learned from the past and you made a decision to move on. Now, having said that, that doesn't mean that it's easy. Doesn't mean that you're not going to be sad. The sorrow card, yeah, obviously it's sorrow, but one of the things I really like about this card is it speaks more to the idea of allowing yourself to feel what you need to feel, process your feelings that you need to process so that you can move on to the next good thing. And no matter, even if it was your decision to move away from this relationship, it doesn't mean that you don't have feelings about it. It doesn't mean that you're maybe not even sad about it. It doesn't mean that maybe you feel bad or you feel guilty or you're hurt, although you were the one that initiated this breakup, if that's actually what happened. But again, it's saying feel what you need to feel, that it's okay. You have permission to do that. And you don't owe anybody any explanations except for yourself. Feel that, get through those stages so you can move on to the next great thing. Because what this overall is a success in that you were able to recognize sooner rather than later that this was not going to work out for you. And that's living from a position of strength, of living in your own power, of being a very confident person and knowing what you want and really sticking to that. Because when we don't do those things in terms of a relationship, it doesn't actually serve anybody. It doesn't serve us. It doesn't serve them. So overall, I think this is a very, very healthy move, although in the moment, it doesn't always feel like that. Let's see what advice Spirit has for us. Yeah, look at that, your path alone. Uh, I laugh because well, quite frankly, tarot cards to me are just absolutely amazing. The way that we are able to use these as tools to connect and receive messages and pass those along. So, your path alone, again, I think this really just reinforces the idea that you made a decision and you have to move forward alone. And now is the right time to do that. And I also think that there is going to be a period of time here that you will be moving forward on your own for a while. Once again, I don't know how long this relationship was for you, but within any relationship, like a serious relationship, I'm not talking like dating for a week or two, that there's not enough time there to really get into the type of realizations here. I mean, maybe, I guess, if you saw it quick, but I don't think you would be really all that upset if within a week or two, maybe disappointed, but not really feelings of sorrow. But as you move out of this, it's going to be about finding yourself again, doing those things we have to post relationship, doing our best not to jump into any type of rebound relationships and complicating that. And it's fine to spend time with somebody or have some fun or whatever else, but really emotionally investing is not something that's going to be happening quickly until you rediscover yourself, till you find yourself, till you recenter yourself as an individual and get yourself back to a healthy point. So that you can move on and be healthy for somebody else in that relationship as well. So very nice reading overall. Again, I'm always, I'm sorry that I'm sorry when we have to deal with these types of things. So I'm sorry that you're dealing with this right now. But again, I do think this was a healthy decision. I think that you're a very strong person for making this. You made a decision. You're moving in a way that a lot of people don't actually do, and they make their lives so much more miserable because they can't. So congratulations. All I can say is that you will be better off. You'll be in a much better position for making this decision. Okay, so that is what I have for Taurus for the month of August for 11 relationship readings. If any of these readings, whether it be the relationship that you're in, relationship that you're looking for, the relationship you just left, if any of those readings resonate with you, please like the video. And of course, if you have questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to know how this resonates for you. I'd love to, if you have any questions, love to, see if there's anything else I can contribute or help along those lines. But yeah, then like the video. And if you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel as well. That helps us out quite a bit, and we'd love to have you. So thank you once again, Taurus, for watching our love and relationship reading for the month of August, and we will see you next time.